Hello everybody, this is Chess here. First I'd like to say thank you for watching, welcome aboard. Now this video here I'm going to show you an actual chess game, happened a few years ago. It's in Budapest. A European matchup. It's against Adam Kozak, he's playing white, against Csabs Horvath, and he's playing the black. So, you know, I'm going to show you games, so let's get started. First of all, before I get started, I'm going to show you only certain parts of the game here, because it's like 70 moves long. And, you know, and I don't want this video to be as long as possible, long as it has to be. So, I'll give you every move, but I'm going to just only talk about it very minimal until there's some points I want to talk about, though. So I'll talk about the open here. So Kozak opened with the D4, which is not really as the E4, but there's some things you can do here. And he Csabs Horvath, the D5. Kozak did the Queen's Gambit, and Horvath accepted, even though most cases they do like decline at like 65%, 35%, something like that. Will decline, but here is an accepted one. Move your knight. Here. Move your knight here. Now you take back the pawn. Now you control more center. This is why a lot of people will decline it and protect the pawn. So, castle king side. Now they're up. Now they both have 2 pawns each. Not sure why he moved it back then. Oh yeah, okay, it was attacked. You kick the knight out. Now, this is a really interesting situation here. I'm not sure. Not really a blunder what white did, but as you're attacking the queen, move the queen out of the way, just take the rook, will be trade of rooks. So, So it's Csabs Horvath's turn, black, so he's got move here. So he does really, in a way, a smart move here. He loses, not really a sacrifice, but he chooses to lose his queen for material gain. So as he takes the rook, and he takes back, takes the queen. And that checks the king. Normally, it's not a good idea to lose both your rooks to take a queen. Although, if you need to take a queen, you gotta take it. Queen's that powerful of a piece. But with two rooks versus the queen, if that becomes the end game, two rooks can really overtake a queen very easily too. That's probably why he chose to do it. And if white loses the queen, black's most definitely going to win the game. So something to consider here. Move the king out of the way. I don't know why Horvath did not take the pawn. I don't see how that could be poison. Knows your deck is the queen now. Takes here, everything's protected, so pieces are protecting each other. So that you can have a real plus that way. Move out of the way. Attack again. That checks the king. Right there. Okay, you move knight to check the king. You can't take him because he'll put the king in check. So you got to move out here. Good move by Kozak. Then he takes. Okay. See a good tactic here. So, you know what the tactic is. Here's a good tactic that Kozak did. Move the queen here. That checks the king, and it's threatening the line to take the rook. If Horvath would have moved his bishop down here, he could take the bishop, and that's checkmate, so you can't do that. And you can't take with the bishop. So the only move is to move your king here. And that allowed here. Now, white is in a good advantage here. He takes the bishop. But Horvath did not resign yet. Right here. Protect the knight. Sometimes it's not a good idea to move your kings out in the open like that. Advance them. All right. This is one I want to talk to you about here. It's in-game situation here. It's White's turn. As you can probably see something here. So, White got to be careful how to play because, you know, you can check the king here. That's going to cause trouble here. But there is a way White can do it. See, do you see what it could be? Right here it is. It checks the king. Nothing can take the queen. Nothing can block. So you're forced to move here. Now, many beginners in this situation would want to take the rook. You know, a rook is a very valuable piece. And that's a bad idea. That's a move that's gonna lose the game for White. Or Kozak. Adam Kozak. So Csabs Horvath is hoping that he would take the rook. Because if he takes the rook here, your king's here, now you got to do is move your knight here. That checks the king, attacks the queen, and you're going to lose your queen. And Black's going to be ahead by a great position. So don't take the queen. So he moves here. What you could have done, what you should have done is probably move your king down here. And that way, by taking the rook, it won't be that, because then you can move your knight here, take him, and check the king. And with the bishop, the pawn, Black should be able to promote. So he definitely should have moved his king here. So that means don't want to take with the queen here. So you take with the king. No, if you move your king here, that'd be checked. I'm sorry. Scratch why I said it. If he would have moved his king here from here, that would have put his king in check. So you couldn't. But you still, principle is still the same, though. You don't want to take it with the queen. You want to take it with the king. If you take it with the queen, the knight can move here, and that can really So now you can take the rook for the king. And here, Horvath resigns. He resigns the game. So I hope you learn some really end game tactics here. Don't be too much rush and don't be too greedy. You gotta be very patient sometimes in this game. Very patient. So this is the end game situation. Adam Kozak won over Csabs Horvath. So say like I said, hope you learned something here. And make sure you use your tactics wisely. Like to say, thank you for watching. And see you next time.